Today is the 4th day of May 2020. And I see a lot of vision and a lot of stuff come in my mind, especially these past 5 weeks being locked down, locked out. And just before the hurricane, I happened to be in Supreme Court in Nassau, and the discussion was on the mud and the peas. You had about 6 to 7 lawyers trying to claim the mud as theirs. I said, wow, how could 6 of y'all say you own the mud? That's a lie. As a boy, 40 years ago, I loved basketball. I used to walk 4 miles back and forth, 8 miles every day. No bicycle, just one little Dunlop tennis. And I walk up in the mud, through the peas. At high tide, at real spring tide, you can't walk. You got to go the long way. So we weren't even thinking that anybody could even live there, because we know there's a reason why they call it the mud. It was water there, all water, before the mud was put there. The mud came with the harbor of Mars Harbor. That's history. That's over 40 years. Most of you don't know. And I'm going to give some history. We used to go by the Ambassador Inn and take a shortcut where the guys used to be drinking under the cedar trees there across from the Ambassador, and they had bench set up. So all the fellas would like to get liquored up. That was like the host assembly there. Everybody was there. We as young people, we couldn't stop and participate in what they're doing. We had to walk on by. Then we look out to the left. The only fish house was there, Kenneth Moss. Kenneth Moss has a fish house, big fish house. I didn't even know who Kenneth Moss was. All they know, he was a light-skinned, curly-hair man. I never see him with no kids, no wife. It's just him there with his wakers. I used to go down there and watch what they do with the lobster and the stuff. Then when you go beyond Kenneth Moss, you'll see Charlie Boo. He had a boat, wide, it's a round boat. I said, how does this fella get to make a boat so round? And he would pull it up on the shore at high tide, spring tide, to work on the bottom, to paint it, to do work. And you walk through Charlie Boo, where he had the boat, through a little pathway, right by the graveyard there in Mars Harbor, and you walk through the water, through the mud. You have to be careful. And if you step wrong, you will slip on that mud and end up your back of your head, bust your head open. So you have to be agile and very careful walking from the graveyard at the Mars Harbor. Peter Campbell had 3 houses there. Sometimes we take a shortcut and go through Peter Campbell. The houses there that Peter Campbell had there, 3 houses look alike. And we went through there because at time there was hog plum season. And Peter Campbell had the only hog plum trees there in Mars Harbor. So we went there and we loaded up with hog plum, going and coming from the mud. That was our walk. And Mars Harbor had the only softball field, basketball field. And I'm saying all this to say this. There's some history there. And as I said, I saw the lawyers line up to try to own the mud as is theirs. The mud never belongs there. The only way you can own it if you quiet title it, which is money grab, land grab. Anyway, but I'm saying this to say this. This is my vision for the mud. And I want people like Roscoe Thompson, who's the chairman of Mars Harbor, Dale Hill, those people to see my vision, to envision the mud. Now, I know the Prime Minister, those studying skullduggery. Everybody could see the expensive fence that they put around the mud and how they cemented around and how they spent $7 million to clean up the mud. We want to say thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. That is the only blessing that you did for Mars Harbor, done this in Murphy Town, to clean up the mud. Thank you. They say I do a lot of negative video. that is a plus that you could see from one end of the mud to the next, the peace, vice versa. Because if COVID-19 would have hit and the mud was still there in the peace, look what would happen to Hopetown, Manawa, Quanakee would have been ruined, because the people, the workmanship goes from there and Baker's Bay, and that could have spread all over. So my vision, as I envision what the mud should be, along with Marshall, Dundas, and Murphytown, town committees, local government. This government has thrown local government out the door. Local government, the F&M brought local government in, but they don't have no respect for local government. And I see why, because so many crooks are in local government, especially in Dundastan. There's a dens of thieves in the Dundastan local government, and I can tell you who they are. But back to my vision and what I envision the mud should be. It should be a community park, a huge community park. And in the community park, you'll have some green space. We could reintroduce the softball field that bring us back 40 years where we used to go. We could have a basketball court in the green space. You see, we got plenty of space now. We got land galore. All is our land. You know, land belongs to Dr. Minnis and the rest of them lawyers who are trying to steal the land. It is our land, Abaco land. We could put a miniature golf course in there. We could have a driving range so you could swing your golf. Somebody could be the next Tiger Woods. And we could put a track and field, a walking track. We could put a bike lane that you could ride your bikes in safety. And the main thing about what we'll do at a green space and a community park is to have somewhere where families could come out in a safe, clean environment day and night. At night, we'll light it up because everybody don't have air conditioning. You want to come out in the breeze, and this will be geared towards bringing family and family members close together. A lot of people in Abaco you don't even know. You'll get to meet your neighbors in a safe environment, a comfortable environment. So this is my vision and my view before the land hogs come and try to hog up the land, that we claim it and we proclaim it our community park. And we can have all the stuff that I mentioned, the miniature golf, the track, the softball field, basketball court, everything, all of these things could be right there. We could even put an outdoor gymnasium. We could put a community, this would be beautiful, a community swimming pool. I see the people from Marshall go down a long bay and how pool meet down there. We'll have one of the largest pool in Abaco in the mud. Does that sound beautiful? But with your help and your vision, and Kai as the Member of Parliament for North Abaco, this shall come to pass. That's one of those positive things that Kai will fight upon. Nobody stealing the mud. We know that the close proximity to the port. So we know those sharks from Nassau coming and looking at that. We got to stop them in their track. As your Member of Parliament, this mud is not for sale. It will never be for sale. It is for the people of Central Abaco. It will be our green space. It will be in memory of the ones that we lost, that through their suffering, every time there's some bad stuff happen, some good stuff happen. So all the bad stuff that happened, all the bad memories in the mud, we, the people of Abaco, will make it a good memory by turning the mud into a huge community park. This is Kai Brain Thiessen as your next Member of Parliament for North Abaco. I shall and I will see that the suffering in the mud will come in and turn out to something positive. You're live with Kai on WCAY. Something positive to look forward to after so much negative stuff has happened. since this F&M government has taken over. And we want to thank the F&M government for spending that $7 million plus to clean up our future community path. You're live with Kai on WCAY.